Think about it. There's very little perceived difference between real estate agents, and we really need to differentiate ourselves. I just reminded myself of something I need to say to you, and that is when I talked about commission. When you go on these listing appointments, some of the sellers, and many of them, in fact, are going to try to do a commission-ectomy. Think about it like this. Maybe they have talked with someone else that says that they will list their house for less commission. And they say, well, why can't you list my house for X amount of commission? Because this agent down at XYZ Realty Company had told me that he would list my house for that amount of money. Well, remember Sherman's antitrust law? That says I can't say anything negative about that agent at XYZ Realty Company. So in dealing with this and answering that question, all I can do is really to give them the unique way that I am going to be marketing their property, and also the way that I am going to be earning the commission that my company charges. So think about that. We're going to dwell on the positive when they ask us, why can't we list at a lower price, at a lower commission rate, because someone with another company will. We're not saying anything negative about that particular company there at all, or that particular agent. But we are going on the affirmative side and saying, I prefer to earn my commission. Let me tell you how I'm going to earn my commission. And this is where you really need to set it all out in that marketing plan and show them what makes you different, what makes you unique. Because there's very little perceived difference with real estate agents, just like we've said. And we have to show them what makes us different and why they would want to do business with us. What is the goal of the listing appointment? Well, I think that you would really answer that very easily by saying the goal is to get the listing. And absolutely, the goal is to get the listing if you decide that this is going to be a motivated seller that will price the house right and will put it in pretty condition for you. Do we want to take all listings at all prices, in all condition? My answer to that would be no, we don't. You want good listings, priced right, and we want them in the kind of condition that will show well. And that includes staging. If you think about staging, you hear more and more about that now. And we even have we have CE classes on staging. And if you ask in a group of people, how many of you agents are qualified stagers, that you have had certain training and you do have the designation, you'll see a lot of hands go up now. I have just done that in some classes that I have taught. There's more and more people that are getting into staging. But what happens is that it makes the house show so much better. You can look in magazines, you can look in papers, and you can see the before and after pictures and say, wow, what a difference just moving a little bit of furniture around made. What a difference just moving a picture here or a lamp here has made. Because it just makes all the difference in the world in the way that the buyers are going to be seeing the house and how attractive the house becomes if it's staged right. Think about the fact that when you are listing a property for sale, and maybe it has beautiful furniture, but it's a lot of heavy furniture, and it's in the wrong place. Think about the fact that there's a lot of people that will be coming through at one time. Maybe buyers, 2 or 3 adults that will be coming through the house, and 2 or 3 children with them sometimes. I know that's a lot, but sometimes that happens. And at that particular time, wouldn't it be better if chairs were moved around to get them out of the pathway? Maybe this big lounge chair or this big chair and a half, as a lot of people have in their dens or their great rooms, would be better to be downstairs in the playroom. Why not ask the sellers if they could part with that just over a short period of time while you're marketing the property, and move things around a little bit to have some clear walking area so that you can walk through the house and not be crowded, not bump into pieces of furniture. What about the closets? Think about that and talk to them as far as staging the closets are concerned. Mr. and Mrs. Seller, you're going to need to go ahead and move, and it would help you if you went ahead and packed up your clothing, your summer clothing, or your off-season clothing, and you'll be that much better off because you'll already be packed. And it will make your closets look so big and spacious because there's this extra room on those rods in there in the closet, and you will be able to have people say, wow, what a nice size closet this is, rather than one where it's so cluttered and so full of clothes that the people say, oh, little closets. I think I need a house with larger closets. Makes a lot of difference. And then, too, suppose you have a house where there's a lot of little collections. I know one house personally that I advise these sellers to go ahead and pack up their collectibles, because they really had a lot of collectibles on the tops of all the tables, the coffee table, the end tables, on top of chest, and this lady just liked to collect a lot of little things, a lot of bric-a-bracs, and so I took it from the standpoint, Mrs. Seller, I believe that if I were you, I would go ahead for your own protection and pack up some of your collectibles. I'm so afraid with all of these little breakable collectibles that you have in the house here that when I bring some children through with their parents, that they might be wanting to pick them up, and some of those might get broken. And if you don't mind, would you consider going ahead and just packing those up? Well, the fact that I said it was for her benefit because her collectibles would not get broken, she went ahead and packed them up. And you cannot imagine the difference that it made, because the house looked cluttered before, although they were nice collectibles and expensive collectibles. But it just it took the people's mind away from looking at the house, and they looked at the things that were in the house. So staging is very, very important. I remember an older realtor when many years ago that had been a decorator, and before he would really put a house on the market after he had listed it, he would go to his house and he would bring lamps and pillows and different accessories that would help to stage that house. That was a long time before staging ever became popular. Now staging is very, very popular, and I think you'll see more and more of the houses that will be staged because it helps the house to show well, and it helps the house to sell better early on, and therefore the sellers are realizing a higher percentage of the sales price to the list price because it's selling in a quicker time. Our goal of the listing appointment has been to get that listing, and hopefully we have been able to share with the seller and communicate with them so that they are actually very comfortable with dealing with us, and we have walked away with a good listing. We are going to be putting the house on the market at a given time according to the agreement between you and the seller. Now, I want to thank you for spending the last 3 hours with me. I've really enjoyed being with you and wish you much success in listing many properties. Let your goal be that you are successful in every listing appointment that you have. Go with the intent of getting that listing appointment. Go the listing at the listing appointment. Go with the intent and of the goal that you are going to be well prepared and that you're going to walk away with that listing. Happy selling to you, and thank you so much again for being with me the last 3 hours.